Imagine a palace at midnight, rooms echoing with marble hush. In the center hall a single candle breathes. Its flame does not strain to flood every chamber. It chooses a circle and warms it well. Corridors stretch into velvet dark, and still the candle refuses panic. One pool of light steady, sufficient, and somehow stronger because it does not wander. I have tried the opposite. I have run with torches, loud and fast, insisting on brightness in every wing. I answered every knock, filled every silence with assurances, and wore myself thin, pretending abundance had no end. The palace stayed dim and I grew smoky. Too much, too loudly, for too long. Tonight I want a different tutor. Machiavelli arrives with a reputation he does not deserve. He is read like a villain and meant as an auditor. Not cruelty, but clarity. People reach for convenience. Resources bow to gravity. Attention is a finite crown. Power holds longest when it is spent carefully, sometimes by doing less than you could, and later than they want. So let's take a private tour. 7 shifts, each a subtraction that becomes strength. We will thin the noise and thicken the signal. We will trade rush for rhythm, generosity for stewardship, access for influence. Less reach, more grip. Consider the ruler who thins his schedule and thickens his influence. Empty hours become listening posts. Doors closed in the morning open kingdoms by night. There is strategy in silence and mercy in deliberate delay. I'll give you a field manual to keep your hands clean and your calendar cleaner, and a closing parable to carry in your pocket when the halls grow loud. For now, breathe with the candle, and notice how much it lights by staying still. Then watch where we set it next. Together. Last month I tried an experiment. For 1 week I answered every request with a no, unless it was already on my shortlist. Emails piled like leaves. Meetings drifted. 3 people pressed harder, yet by Friday the air felt wider. The work that mattered sharpened, and the people who mattered stepped closer. Clarity tripled because I had fewer fog machines. Respect doubled because my yes meant something again. Here is the principle I learned. Power is the quality of attention multiplied by the scarcity of action. Attention without scarcity becomes noise. Scarcity without attention becomes absence. Together, they make a lever. When I chose fewer moves, each one landed with weight instead of wobble. Machiavelli would not call this laziness. He would call it craft. A prince guards appearances and energy, then acts rarely and decisively so the act can echo. Crowds trust rhythm more than chatter. Courtiers respect the step that follows silence, because silence implies study. Subtraction has its own physics. Removing drains creates altitude. Altitude creates foresight. At ground level, everything looks urgent. From higher up, you can see which fire burns in a ring and which burns toward the bridge. Less heat, more horizon. If you're overwhelmed, begin with one cut disguised as virtue. Choose the weekly obligation that flatters your image while stealing your edge. The standing panel, the volunteer task you dread, the check-in that solves nothing. Step back kindly. You'll watch time return like tide. This is not retreat. It is repositioning. The candle has not dimmed. The halls around it have stopped swallowing the light. Your calendar becomes a statement, not a confession. What to subtract first depends on leverage. To cut wisely, you need a map, where a small shift moves 10 times your world, and where it only moves your guilt. In the same quarter, 2 leaders faced the same problem. One sprinted from call to call, tweaking slides, chasing signatures, fixing every loose screw with sleepless goodwill. The other arranged the board and moved 3 pieces: a shared doc, a lunch with the right skeptic, a calendar slot no one could ignore. By month's end, the hustler had blisters and apologies. The arranger had momentum, and a crowd asking what came next. Effort matters, but asymmetry wins. Think in lenses of leverage. Tools? Technology that turns 1 hour into 10, automations, templates, libraries. Talent? People whose strengths multiply yours, not mirror them. Timing? The cycles and tides, budget seasons, quiet weeks, moments when hard ground turns workable. Terrain? The context. The room's mood, the factions, the history humming under every decision. Machiavelli would tell a prince to read the city. Every street has its traffic, every parish its songs, every calendar its soft belly. Move when the alleys are empty. Speak when ears are hunting signal. Plant seeds in months that tend seedlings. Consider the contrast. 10 hours alone may yield a careful plan few will see. One good alliance and a borrowed platform can make a hallway conversation into policy. It feels like cheating only if you confuse sweat with worth. Do a personal audit this week. List 3 tasks you grind through that produce small ripples. Replace them with one leverage move. Adopt a tool, recruit a compliment. Time a proposal for the hour appetite is highest. Or choose terrain where your idea looks native. Less movement, greater reach. Leverage without focus is a catapult with no target. The shot flies, the dust rises, and nothing changes. To make the asymmetry bite, you need a single decisive aim. The kind that gathers stray effort and turns it into one clean hit. Forward. An archer stands in a quiet field at dawn, quiver full, horizon wide. They lift the bow, sight a mark, then swing to another and another. The string never bites the fingers long enough to sing. Arrows wander, not for lack of strength, but because the target keeps moving. I know this posture. Many interests tug the wrist. Every option is lively. Nothing gathers enough force to land. Here is the sober truth Machiavelli would offer. Stability is persuasion. People follow the clear. Allies, customers, and even your nervous system pledge effort where the aim stays put. The more your direction holds, the more doors remember to open when you knock. So we practice the aim ritual. Write one line that names the outcome you want this season, simple enough to survive conversation. Add 3 non-negotiables, the guardrails that keep the road narrow and safe. Then set a deadline mirror. I will deliver by this date if I receive these inputs by that date. The mirror reflects commitment on both sides. Build an identity bridge. Instead of a dozen scattered masks, choose one sentence. I'm the person who finishes the job, ships weekly, protects mornings, whatever turns your many selves into a single spine. Let projects be costumes. Let the bridge be bone. Keep the discipline quiet. Daily minimums over heroic sprints. 1 page, 1 pitch, 1 call, 1 set. Low enough to repeat on bad days. Firm enough to compound on good ones. Progress becomes tide, not weather. If choosing still feels like loss, remember the candle. A tighter circle warms more deeply. Your aim is that circle. Hold it steady. Speak it softly. Align meetings, tasks, and favors beneath it. With aim set, the next muscle matters most. The patience that turns restraint into reach. Patience becomes a weapon. In a narrow conference room, I learned what waiting can purchase. We had made our case. The numbers were clear. Then I stopped talking. 10 seconds, 20, a minute that felt like a mile. The lead negotiator shifted, laughed, and finally admitted the hidden worry. Not price, but rollout risk. The deal moved that afternoon because silence let the real problem walk into the light. Machiavelli would say, Fortuna does not love statues. She favors the prepared who move when the current turns. Patience is not idling. It is coiling. Timing without readiness is luck. Timing with readiness is strategy. Climb the waiting ladder. Watch, learn, position, reveal. First, watch until patterns replace surprises. Then learn what repeats and why. Position your offer. where their path already bends. Only then reveal, briefly, cleanly, so the door swings on its own. Help your body send the same message. Breathe in sentences, not gasps. Speak slowly enough that commas can rest their elbows. A slow tone signals surplus time, options, sovereignty. People trust the pace that doesn't beg. Turn dead time into deep time. While others drum fingers, you run reconnaissance. Outline the next version. Rehearse boundary phrases. Check the map of stakeholders. When the water turns, you're already pointed downstream. Patience gathers gravity. It lets eager rivals spend their energy proving your point. And yet, patience without reputation is invisible. Quiet power needs a visible At a crowded table, I watched one sentence do what a month of speeches could not. Her quiet director lifted her glass and said, "You can trust their work." No thread, no deck, no fireworks, just a brief endorsement that moved the room. Machiavelli would not be surprised. People judge by symbols, consistency, alliances, small proofs. They read the pattern, not the promise. A steady cadence of kept commitments builds a shield no slogan can match. Use the credibility loop. Promise small. Deliver a little more. Then withdraw, not in sulk, but to signal standards. Scarcity tells the story that effort is chosen, not poured without bottom. Repeat the loop until your name implies outcome. Practice public scarcity and private generosity. Be easy to work with and hard to book. Share notes, tools, and introductions, and let others narrate. Mystique is not coldness. It's a clean boundary that keeps your warmth from spilling. Hold two guardrails. Never explain what results can prove. Never perform what silence can convey. Let the work echo before you speak. And when you do speak, keep it short enough that memory can carry it whole. Reputation becomes silent armor. It turns "who are you?" into "we were waiting." It makes fewer moves land deeper, and it lets you say no without a trial. Wear it lightly and repair it quickly, with apologies that arrive before excuses. With armor set, the next edge matters most. Timing becomes the blade that lets a single cut shape the day. On a Tuesday, we shipped a note at 9, just as the team finished stand-ups and scanned for direction. No campaign, no trumpet, only one clean announcement with a link. Because the room was listening, the message threaded itself through meetings and chats. By noon, decisions moved. By dusk, what we'd pushed for weeks was truly obvious. Timing made the work feel like lightning instead of labor. There are cycles under every calendar. Weekly attention peaks. Midweek mornings beat late Fridays. Seasons carry moods. Budgets loosen at year's turn. Focus tightens in autumn. Summers drift. Each industry keeps rituals. Release windows. Conference tides. Embargoes that open as gates if you wait. Machiavelli kept a calendar of feast and famine. Prepare in famine. Research, prototype, rehearse. Harvest in feast, announce, invite, close. The same effort bites harder when mouths are open. Follow the rhythm rule, one strong move per cycle. Everything else is setup or silence. If the week is your cycle, choose Monday prep, Wednesday strike, Friday review. If the quarter is your stage, stack 2 months of groundwork, then a short run. Give yourself a practical cadence. Hold office hours so asks gather. Choose drop days for launches, retreat days for thinking. Let repetition build trust while your restraint preserves attention. When you learn to serve cycles, less becomes lightning, and calm replaces the grind. Doing less doesn't always mean alone. Sometimes it means delegating the right parts to the right hands, alliances that extend your reach, while keeping your pace slow and sure. We scheduled one lunch in a quiet corner. No slides, just questions. He had blocked our proposal for 3 months with polite delays. Over soup, we traced his worry to a single scar, a past rollout that burned his team. I offered a short memo, a pilot with a kill switch and a promise of credit if it worked. The blockage dissolved like salt, not because I pushed harder, but because I listened precisely and gave him something light to carry back to his people. Machiavelli would smile at the realism. People love at their convenience, but they respect consistency and usefulness. Help becomes durable when it travels well, when it relieves risk without demanding worship, when it makes the other person look wise at home. Build an alliance stack: mentors, peers, protégés. Mentors get clean updates and clear asks. Peers get swaps, templates, context, a second brain on their draft. Protégés get guardrails and chances to try, not rescue. Every tier needs cadence and boundaries, or the stack tilts. Practice gentle power moves. Give templates, not toil. Share introductions, not errands. Offer a checklist before a calendar slot. Send a summary others can forward with their name on it. Power softens when you celebrate wins without needing a spotlight. Choose fewer rooms, warmer rooms. Curate circles where promises keep, where pace is sane, where dissent is specific and kind. Depth compounds like interest. A handful of steady allies beats a crowd of tourists every season. This is how subtraction becomes reach. Fewer ties, deeper trust, lighter gifts that travel far. In a moment, we'll tie it all together in a compact playbook you can keep on your desk. Then a closing story to lock the habit in your bones so the candle keeps its circle. And the palace moves with you. Before anything enters your calendar, pass it through 4 filters. Ask the motive. What do they want and why you? Check the pattern. Has this loop repeated, and what changed last time? Measure the cost: hours, energy, reputation. Require proof: what they've already tried and what they'll do without you. If answers arrive in fog, keep your day clear. Help comes in 3 levels. Offer brief advice first, a paragraph that points the way. If the need returns, send a template so the path can repeat without you. If the pull persists, share a resource list anyone can use. Decline tasks without an owner, a deadline and a metric, or they will become your quiet midnight. Speak with scarcity. Soft no's: I can't take this on. Conditional yeses: yes after you complete A and B. Use deadline mirrors. I'll review Friday if you send by Thursday noon. The mirror reflects commitment on both sides. Keep a weekly rhythm you can hum. 1 move day for decisive action. 2 prep days to load the spring. 2 maintenance days for replies and repairs. 2 off-grid pockets where nothing may claim you. Let the pattern repeat until others learn your tides. Maintain reputation like a garden. Publish a brief log of outcomes, not opinions. Send quiet notes of gratitude. Make requests rarely and precisely, so doors swing before you touch them. Choose timing and terrain with intent. Each month, pick 1 obvious wave and ride it. Prepare in famine. Reveal in feast. Plan reveals, not noise, so your message arrives when ears are hunting signal. This is the manual you can carry in 1 hand. Use it to subtract the scattered, conserve the flame, and thicken your reach. Now a closing story to seal the habit where it matters most. There is a story about a garden behind a low stone wall. It is not grand. A gate of wood, a path of crushed shell, a square of beds edged with time. The keeper rises early, turns the soil, thins seedlings, carries water with patient arms. He does not chase the fields beyond the wall. He tends what he can touch. In time, the garden feeds a surprising number of tables, not because it is large, but because it is loved. Footsteps pass the gate, curious. He opens when the season permits, shares seeds, asks visitors to stay on the path. The wall is not a rejection. It is a promise that what grows inside will live. Return to the palace. The candle still breathes in the central hall. It does not chase corridors. Corridors come to the light. Messengers step from shadow to circle, Read the notices pinned beside the flame and go their way steadier. Doors open and close in rhythm with the candle's quiet. Less pushing, more gravity. Here is the credo to pocket and keep. Do less, but decide more. Decide what gets light. Decide when to wait. Decide which work feeds the city. Let decision, not frenzy, be your strength. Before we part, a gentle call to rest. Choose one aim, one move, one alliance this month. Write them on a card. Keep it near your keys. Let the rest fall quiet like snow beyond the wall. Walk the path at dawn, breathe, and look at what is already growing. When others arrive with noise, you will have a circle ready. When night leans in, you will lift the candle by the handle, set it down, and smile at how far a small flame reaches. Carry this peace home.